Super, super event, lovely hotel, and as always when I travel to India, excellent, warm welcome from everybody that I ever come across. So I wanted to thank you for your hospitality. When James invited me to come and give this small talk, I was really looking forward to another excuse to visit this just incredible country, which of course brings us to the subject of the conversation, which is digital transformation. As a UK resident living in the United Arab Emirates and visiting India, I require a number of documents, including permission from your government to allow me to visit. And when we talk about transformation, we're talking about moving from one state to another state. So a couple of years ago, when I first started traveling to India, I would have had to have taken a day out of the office, taken my physical passport, gone to the High Commission, had an Indian official examine my paperwork and grant permission to travel. I would then have had to have handed over cash. Today, the transformation is beyond words. Today, I sit down at my desk, I log on to the India e-visa system, I upload my picture, I scan my passport, I make an electronic payment, and I'm granted a visa. So the advantages should be obvious for all in terms of ease, in terms of time saving, in terms of efficiency, in terms of security, so that the Indian government can understand that I'm not a threat and I'm here to do good, and also in terms of corruption and black money. There is no cash involved in the entire process. So the benefits are clear, both for India and for me as a consumer of government services. What it does require, however, is a great deal of trust. It requires trust from me as the applicant that, having held my data, the Indian government is going to use it responsibly, to safeguard it. It requires trust from the Indian government that I am who I say I am, and my identity can be established electronically. And we find this across all sectors. It doesn't matter now whether it is delivery of government services or any interaction that a consumer or a citizen has with any entity. I pay my electricity bill online. I pay my UK taxes online. I apply for my Indian visa online. And any aspect of my life and your life is now electronic. It is easier, it is faster, it is less corrupt, it is more efficient, but it depends absolutely and fundamentally on establishing a level of trust between you, the PSU, and the citizen to whom you serve. And so, And so establishing that trust becomes a fundamental requirement for any transformation, and specifically the digital and IT transformation that all of us here in this room are looking to complete and to accelerate. The consequences of failure are clear and open. They're in the newspapers every day around the world. These are obviously just a few random examples from the UK. There are many here in India that are in the press every time I visit. If that trust is undermined by poor data hygiene, by the inability to protect and use that data responsibly, you absolutely cannot complete your digital transformation programs and deliver those services to your citizens electronically. And despite having that understanding, we have a mismatch, we have a gap. We recognize as an industry, we recognize as a PSU that these things are important and that we increase our spend year after year after year, trying to improve our defenses, trying to act responsibly, trying to be good custodians of our citizens' data, and yet we find that the attacks are outpacing our ability to defend. So what do? It becomes a critical problem because throwing money at it is clearly not working. The answer is not just to increase budget. So the gap widens every year, and we now have reached a point where we have to accept that the traditional ways of trying to close those gaps are no longer working. So, what do? It sounds simplistic, but it is absolutely true that a widespread adoption in the public sector of well-applied, appropriately applied encryption techniques can solve that gap, can bring us closer to being good custodians of our citizens' data. It is simply true that encryption works. So then the following question comes immediately to mind. Why are we not doing this? We know it works. The track record is there now for thousands of years that good encryption techniques solve our problem. So why are we not using it? Well, frankly, it's difficult to manage. It's complex. We don't have the skills. And that has always been the excuse. And every year we hear the same feedback from our customers. We would love to adopt more encryption technologies. But what do? How do we do it? How do I get the skills? How do I apply it appropriately? Well, it might sound a little self-serving because it is self-serving, but that's what we at Thales are here to help you do. We now have a track record of 40 to 50 years in India of solving encryption challenges for public and private sector bodies and allowing you to take your ever-stressed and your ever-pressured budget and apply it appropriately to becoming a good custodian of your citizens' data. Thank you very much.